mic. You guys can hear me. I had to move a lot of my equipment around, so my bad. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Anyway, happy Saturday or Sunday for some of you. Just have some. We're just gonna hang out today. Just do some free sketching. Nothing really exciting planned today. I may need to drop the brightness on my lights again. I have been moving all my equipment around for like days, just trying to get the right configuration. It's a lot harder doing traditional art um, than digital when you stream. What are we drawing? I don't know. Just kind of whatever comes to mind. Yeah, normally when we stream, especially these sketch streams, we're just hanging out. Just want to get a couple hours of mileage in per day. Through this sketching, I just came up with an idea. Uh, Hey, what's going on? You never notice that's how you hold a pen? Oh, I'm using a pencil right now, but yeah, it's just a habit. When I was first learning how to draw, I watched a lot of like the classic artists who were doing like figure drawing, and one, it's a lot easier on your wrist because if you're holding it like this, you have to pivot more like that. But if you hold it like this, you can it helps promote moving with your shoulder and your elbow, which is I think the most important thing. Like even if you hold it like this and then you do pivot with your shoulder and elbow, um, it's just easier like this because it's like an extension of your finger basically. So I don't think it's like I mean they say there's more control this way technically. I don't know. I don't notice it because I draw both ways. Uh, this is just what I'm used to now. So you feel like you have more, feel like you have more control. Yeah, I mean, like if you watch a lot of like old school traditional artists, um, it was the five pencil method was the one that I was using when I first started learning how to draw. Um, hold on, let me move my mic. I could tell that it's not very loud for you guys. Okay, that's probably a little bit better. Anyway, the it was I don't know if they're still around, but it was called the five pencil method. Um, I watched those YouTube videos and those online courses. It's not like a school, just like you know YouTube channel. And then you would watch like Proco or pretty much anybody who does like figure drawing on online and yeah. Anyway, feels a lot better to you. And again, the most important thing about it is it takes up pressure off of your or it promotes you, pivoting on your elbow and your shoulder. Especially when you're doing bigger drawings. Like this is a decent sized paper. I think it's 11 by 14. No, no, no. 14 by 17. I don't know. Some big size. Um so like if you're working on a smaller paper, you probably will hold it like this just because like you need to get more details. But on the bigger pages it lets you do like bigger swipes like Trying to decide outfit wise. What are you working on today? Yeah, I know over the years that we've been streaming, normally I got the jams going for you guys, but I'm tired of my videos getting suppressed because of my copyright stuff. So so I got my jams going. Y'all can't hear it. You can play your own stuff. You haven't tried to draw anything aside from shapes. Trying to take time learning. Oh, that's good. Like you're talking about like rotating um objects in free space kind of thing. Like draw a box in perspective kind of stuff. Can never go wrong with that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean that used to be my go-to when we would stream, and I have no idea what I'd be doing. I had no idea what to draw that day. Um, we just pick an object like a chair, be like, hey, we draw it in this perspective, put it in a box, rotate it, rotate it, rotate it, rotate it. Welcome everyone. If you're just joining, we're just hanging out today, just sketching, nothing serious. That is good. If you have a short amount of time to draw per day, yeah, that's a really good exercise. I spent thousands, literal thousands of hours just doing boxes in perspective, drawing out perspective grids and rotating objects in space. And despite it, it's just always, that fundamental stuff is just always good. Gonna hit up the art store and get a sketchbook to take with you everywhere. That's good. I recommend a 4x6. I have tried carrying large scale, well, anything bigger than a 4x6. Oops. I've tried at like conventions or when I travel for work, and I'm just like, there's something, the 4x6, there's something magical about that size for sketchbooks. That's my recommendation. What do we want to dick around with today? Warm or cool? Something warm, right? Ugh, this bitch is almost dry. Four by six is perfect. That's the size we make. That's the one then, right? Probably don't need any blues. Yo, what's going on? I'm doing well. Just chilling today. Nothing serious. What's been going on with you? You say you're struggling a bit, but you'll work on it. That's everybody. I'm actually gonna drop the brightness of the lamps because I see there's a huge reflection. So let's try this out. Let's try dropping this lamp a little bit and then raising this one. There we go. But anyway, you mean like struggling in general or struggling with your art? You're all same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Yeah, I'm like caught up on all my commissions, so it's kind of nice. One, I mean, it kind of sucks to be out of like I'm done with commissions, which means no more money. But um, it's been kind of nice to just sit at my desk and like kind of just draw whatever I want, sketch, and you know, a freedom that's not often afforded to many artists, including me, most of the time. Well, I hope everything gets better. Everyone seems like they're kind of in the dirt lately. All my artist buddies, you know. Oh, I don't have a container for my Gamsol, my paint thinner. Um, so I'm just gonna wipe the brush off. Should be okay. Oh no, I've made a habit of vaping again. I was over it too. I was out. I was out the past couple days, man. I've just been, basically ever since I finished my commissions, I've just been like, Did I ever exhibit at a convention in Germany? Yeah, I did. I had an artist alley table at Dokomi in 2019, Dusseldorf. So long ago. So long ago. 5 years? No, I actually got accepted to Dokomi again this year, which I was very happy about. I wanted to go back, but I think there's some kind of football event going on during that weekend. Uh, so flights out there were like $4,000 because normally it would be like $1,000 to fly out there, but because of that event, it was just like it crashed all the prices. Like I couldn't find a hotel at all, and the ones I found were crazy expensive. So I got in to Dukomi and I wanted to go, but I could not justify. I'd have to spend like $5,000 just to go do that show. I'm just like, it's not happening. Ah, okay. Well, that explains it. But yeah, oh, and again, I don't really follow sports in general. So when I saw that, I got accepted and I started looking for like flights and stuff. I was just like, what the hell? Why is this so expensive? So naturally, I just Googled. I'm like events going on. The moment I saw football, I was just like, oh shit, no. But then I would, yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I can get back in to that show maybe next year. I do want to do more international shows. That's all I know. I was supposed to go to TwitchCon. Um, Shit, is that supposed to be this weekend? It's near Amsterdam. Oh, but again, I kind of couldn't justify the cost of it because it's only a 2 day convention, TwitchCon. So if I were gonna go there and sell my artwork and I only have 2 days, that's no good. Yeah, like literally the same days. So anyway, damn it. So we'll block everything out with big brushes, and then gradually, you know how it goes. Gradually go into smaller brushes and get in the details. So right now we're just gonna block kind of where we want the like the bigger lights. Probably be using a lot of white highlights in here, like solid white. Can't believe the pencils are shining through so much underneath the paint. Normally it just vanishes. So we'll do the general blocking. We'll actually render out the whole skin area before we go on to like the gloves and the jacket because or in the shirt because I'm not sure what like material I want to use for that for the jacket. So we'll just do the skin because skin's on the like the lowest layer. Like if you're doing digital art, your skin is always underneath like your clothing layer. You know, if you're the kind of person who does many layers. So it's the same concept. We'll just do this first, and then we'll figure everything else with the drawing out after that. Yeah, I do want to go back out international. Like my big goal during 2020 was to do a bunch of international shows. I had shows lined up in Singapore and Australia, and I was going back to Dokomi, and then COVID happened, and then I'm barely getting back into cons again. For like the past year, and it's just been like prices have gone up for everything. So flying out of country has just been crazy, and it's hard to justify it. So yeah, but still the goal is to go back international. inflation. Yeah, inflation outweigh or it outpaces what we earn. But that's a worldwide problem. Sucks. I mean, the money's got to go somewhere, right? Oh man, nailed the color on the first try. That's pretty good. That never happens. Weird. Uh, baby poop green. Normally I'd go with like a cool color. I was gonna say a purple, but like a cool color for the shadows. But I kind of want to keep this whole thing looking warm. So if I had the choice between using like a teal or a violet, oh shit. I mean, I meant to do that. A teal or a violet versus like a green for the shadows. I'm just gonna go green for the sake of trying to keep the whole drawing warm. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. What's everyone keeping busy with? I am caught up on all my work, so we get to just kind of hang out and goof off, sketch, at least for a few weeks. I have a lot of conventions because I go to anime and comic book conventions and to sell my artwork, and I have like look, back to back, like once it's July, once it's 4th of July because I have Anime Expo that weekend. After that, it's like a nonstop roller coaster until like October. Like I think it's like every weekend. Yo, my bad YouTube chat. The YouTube chat is not showing up in my my broadcaster. My bad. Let me open that up. So YouTube, my bad if looks like I'm ignoring your chat. It's just not showing up for me. Let me open that up for myself. Oh, well, it's good to hear that you've been able to improve. You know, we've said it a lot. It's like it's more about like I feel like a lot of artists just lack direction when it comes to when they want to improve, you know? Like it's not so much like the technical stuff of art. Like technical stuff is of course is going to take work, but it's more so like a lot of artists be like, "Oh, I just want to get good at anatomy." I'm like, what does that even mean? Like there's so much that goes into that. So if you can like break that statement down into like, okay, well, I want to be able to draw if I want to get my gesture drawing up. Like, okay, that's more precise. Like it's going to be a lot easier to chase that. You know, like if somebody's like, "Oh, I just kind of want to lose weight, I guess." Okay, but like, what do you want to do? I don't know. I just want to get like fit. Yeah, but like, what does that mean? Oh, I don't know. You know, no direction. I feel like with art because there's an almost infinite amount of things you could learn in art. Um, you know, when you study, you are being like intentional with the subject that you study, and not just like, oh, I'm just gonna go online and watch every anatomy video. Oh, before and after. uh, Always take pictures of your progress. Not necessarily for other people. I mean, it's cool to show it off. Let's be serious. It's cool to show it off your progress, but also it's good to look at it. If you could look back on your old artwork and kind of cringe at it, oh, that's good. That means that you've made progress. So now now that the paint is getting a little drier, we can kind of start blending it in, softening up the edges a little bit. Because when you put the paint on, it's like really wet. That's how you get like those really harsh lines. For cast shadows, that's cool, but like for what I have going on here, I don't really. Maybe like right here, right under the face. I have like a hard edge, cast shadow. So what subject do you feel like you've improved on the most? Well, actually, what you said anatomy, was that your target? Anatomy seems to be like the universal go-to when it's just like, well, if there's one thing that I definitely need to get better at all the time, anatomy. Let me get my music. No music for you guys because copyright strikes. And like I mentioned earlier, the reason that we're using green for the shadows, the darker areas, is because I want the whole thing to be warm. Traditionally, especially when I'm using alcohol markers like Copics, my go-to is like a cool gray or a BV20, like a gray lavender. Awesome color. Um, Desaturated lavender is like that's like my favorite color for shading. But I want to do something where it's like hopefully this will work. No promises. uh, want to keep everything in here as warm as possible. So that's why we're going with a green instead of the lavender for the shading. Ooh. So I think for the next thing that we're gonna do, hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Mm. For anyone who's watching, if you have no idea who I'm talking to, we're multi-streaming on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Are we on Facebook? Can't remember. So the next area is gonna be we're gonna need something very very yellow. So I'm actually gonna, instead of pulling from this pile, I'm just gonna start a new pile, a new color. And honestly, I think we could just go with like a light yellow, just standalone. We can add a little bit for the you know what? We'll do the subsurface scattering at the very 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 end. Once everything dries, we'll hit it with the subsurface scattering. Just like graze over the top of the skin with it instead of like blending it in as we go. because that's how we do it digitally. But that's how I do it here. 13th year as an artist, nice. Yeah, I also hit the 10-year mark with my art. Crazy. Crazy. Actually, 13 years. Wait, no, no, no. 11 years, not 13. I went backwards. 11 years, yeah. Welcome, welcome everyone. I hope you all are having a good day. We're just hanging out today. I finished all my commission work, so we're just sitting around sketching today, taking it easy. All right, there we go. You weren't comfortable with your art, so you improved your coloring. That's nice. You know, there have been, like with everybody, there have been times when I wasn't comfortable with my work. But like as I get older, I I don't know. These days I have like zero issues like talking about my art or showcasing it. Um, and I know a lot of artists have that problem, so I just I know it sucks. Like I wish more artists would be a little nicer to themselves. Perfect. We want to make sure that this is very the layer that we're putting on is a very dry layer. Hey, what's going on? How's it going? Uh, what are you up to this Saturday? You know, I we when I got up today, took the dog out to the dog park. I could have sworn it was Friday. Like I was 100% just like, oh right, so it's Friday. What do I got going on today? And then I was because the dog park is next to like an elementary school. I was like, oh man, there's no where are all the kids? Yeah, when I don't have conventions, I straight up lose all sense of fucking time. Con prepping. Talking about AX, MetroCon. Is that Florida? MetroCon? Florida. I haven't done a con in Florida since like 2018. It was a holiday Matsuri. So I've been trying to pick the brains of more non-print artists. Um, when it comes to producing, well, I guess literally anything other than prints. Like uh people who are doing like pins and stuff, like pins and stickers. How often do you add like a new piece of artwork to the collection? Is it like every con you have something new? Like I've always been curious what the frequency of like new items is because my the artwork that I make for cons takes so long. I will only produce like one or two new things a year. And I've never bothered talking to other artists who don't do prints. But lately, I've been just fascinated by the production side of how all that works. You never sold one piece in your entire life as an artist, giving away for free. Hey, as long as you're happy, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters. You know what a piece of advice I always give out when someone asks me about like they want to go as like a full-time artist, I always say, first off, hold the fuck up. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about. um, there is something quite freeing about not needing to use your artwork to make money, which in turn will give you like infinitely more freedom to just kind of make what you want to make, right? Like you see us here just talking about con prep, convention prep. I always have convention prep too, and we have to produce things for our job. Um, it just so happens to be our job is like art related. So this goes back to the thing you said about how like you've never sold any of your work. You don't need to. You don't fucking need to. As long as you're happy with how it came out and you're happy with the person you gave it to. This is fun. I've been working on like client work for like days now. I guess weeks now since I've been doing it since I got out of anime. I can like breathe now. But it's all good because I don't have any conventions in June, so I needed those paychecks. But Exo, what's going on, man? You locked in right now? The art of, hey, what's going on? Hope everybody is having a good weekend so far. I didn't even realize it was Saturday until like until I was like hours deep into running errands today. Oh, there's a lot of people on the road for being Friday morning. We can go one darker. was a simple solution. Just throw area's a little too dark right here. We can lift it a little bit. So this next area, we can just go pure white. Oh wait, we have to finish the green or the dark shadows first. So we've been streaming for an hour and a half. Um, let me take like a 5-minute break. All right. If you're on TikTok, I appreciate all the views. There's a lot. That's a lot of people. But I've been streaming for about hour and a half, hour and 40. I'm gonna take a 5 minute break. Then I'll be right back. When we come back, I just have so right now we just kind of blocked out where all the paint is, and then right now I'm applying like the darkest shadow or the darkest areas. I don't want to go like pure black, for the dark areas. So when I come back, we're gonna finish detailing, or excuse me, finish blocking in the darker areas like this green right here into the rest of the skin, and then when that's done, we're gonna go in with a really really fine brush and then do all the details. And then when the skin is 100% done, we'll go in and do the clothes, and then after that we'll do the hair. So yeah, give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, everybody. Um, we're just in the middle of like a 5 minute break, just stretching for a little bit. We'll be continuing in like a minute. Hey, Wonder Logic, what's going on? Yeah, we'll be continuing. This has been a really fun day. I finished all my commission work, so we're just kind of hanging out. Oh, give me like one more minute, just stretching. Welcome, welcome everyone. Damn, it's paint. That's cool. Yeah. I dabble in all mediums. Just been doing these commissions. I've just been doing digital and alcohol ink commissions just like nonstop, and I can go like months without ever touching a Copic marker again. Like I'm straight up fine if I never have to handle a Copic marker for another few months. That said, Copic, if you feel like sending me more markers, I'll totally use more markers if you want to send me if you want to send me more. Oh, you're at work? Well then I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't have a container for my paint thinner. I know. I gotta get one so that I can clean the brushes properly and get all of this off while we're working. But if it were like a paid project, then yeah, I'd take more care in how I'm doing this. But we're just goofing off right now, so waiting on this guy to dry. Don't drop it. So it's been a very relaxing couple of days, but now I gotta fucking wait for that to dry. So Exo, how many do you have left? I mean, you say you want to be done with them. What are you gonna do with yourself when you finally like a dog chasing a car? When you say you finish all your art commissions, what are you gonna do after that? You're like something secret. Hold on, my dog sounds like she just woke up. He's at the office door. 1 second. Guess not. Dog's awake, but normally she'll. Normally my puppy will come to the office door when she wakes up. She must not be fully awake yet. Speaking of art competition, I think an art fight is starting soon. Oh, Twitter art contest for two VTubers. Oh, that's cool. What do you guys competition? Is it like pieces pieces will get voted on, or is it like a we'll really just kind of slowly work this in. I see how sharp this contrast is right here under the jaw. I don't like that. That's like too sharp. So we'll make sure the brush is dry. We don't have any. We'll kind of just blend it in, soften it up. Let me just kind of work it in. All right, now my puppy's at the door. All right, give me a second. You want to see my 60-pound puppy? It's not even 2 years old yet. No, stay away from that. Oh. We'll just gradually soften up the chin because it was just like such a harsh like jawline, or not. Yeah, like the jawline looked way too harsh because the because I did like an anime chin, right? Yeah, much better that looks. So the rest of this will just kind of blend it and work it into the lighter green underneath because we want like a gradation, right? Hey, no, no, come on. Alice has a question about art and life. Yeah, what's up? Existential level questions. Welcome everyone. I am just kind of working this darker green. And again, you guys have a bit of a glare, so it might be hard for you to see. But yeah, I'm just kind of blending everything together. Because we're gonna have the skin completely done before I move on to the other sections of the body. Like the skin is the for me the easiest part to mess up. So I and that's not just with oil paint. It's like with all mediums, skin seems to be the thing that I'll mess up the easiest. So if I don't want to how do you say, I don't want to invest time into the entire drawing if I end up messing up the skin. So I'm like, all right, let's get the skin first, and if I don't screw that up, then we can invest more time into, into the rest of the body. Bashy, what's going on? I have to make sure my puppy's not trying to get the the oil paints that I have on the ground. She's good about it. She knows. She's not like a grabby kind of dog. But at the end of the day, that's still my baby, so I have to keep a dog dead eye and ear out. we don't want to over render it because we don't. I mean, the reason we do traditional art is because there's slight imperfections that you can't really replicate. Like you would have to intentionally replicate these imperfections when going digital, um, which kind of defeats the purpose. You know, like in was it the Rise of Skywalker, the Last Jedi? Yeah, when they had no, it might have been Rise of Skywalker. Anyway, they had Yoda. He was all CG, but they animated him in a way where he looked like a puppet. Just use it. Just use a puppet. Like anyway, so there are certain charms to doing traditional art. Um, and if you over render, like we could continue rendering and smoothing this all out and get like a perfect gradation, but then we lose the charm of the traditional, especially if we're painting. Um, may as well just do digital at that point. Save us some ink. You're about to kill a Diablo boss. Are they releasing new stuff for Diablo 4? I know they announced a whole bunch of like new stuff coming out. We don't Traditional forces you to compromise and make decisions when you mess up. Oh yeah, there's that too. Yeah, that's why when we were hanging out in the sketchbook, I just go straight pen. Like I don't even, for the most part, I don't really even use pencil. Um, we talked about it the other day on stream where if you as an artist you're lacking confident in your line art, um, if you're digital, you just have to stop using Control Z. Like you just have to. That's honestly all you have to do. And then if you're traditional, start drawing without an undersketch. That'll good small exercises that will help your confidence and will help your line art during practice. Now, if you have a commission or something, you better use that. You better go and not be lazy. Do the full thing. You get paid for a job. Do it properly. Anyway, there was a question about art and life incoming. Oh shit. Okay, my bad. Hold on. Let me finish this section, then I can give your question my full attention. And if you're in the TikTok chat right now, you don't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat. I would talk to the TikTok chat, but none of you are saying anything. So, but I appreciate all the viewers on TikTok. That's amazing. Okay, so the question is: you studied art in college, and you studied art with some proficiency artists who had larger careers. You find yourself being less and less included into art despite wanting to, being less and less inclined, not included. You find yourself less and less inclined in art despite wanting to. I know you need to expand your skill set to one day match their ability. As I value, as much as you value, want to improve. How do you prevent yourself from falling into stagnation? You struggle with many. You struggle with many elements. and don't feel your sensitivity to understand art is improving, or where you need to improve your eyes and understand, improve, incorporate. Um, there's a few different answers to that, and it will kind of depend on what your goal is as an artist. If you want to be like a studio artist, for example, if you want to be like a splash artist for Riot, there's a certain style, there's a certain like an illustration, there's a certain kind of storytelling with those splash art illustrations that you need to get good at. Most gaming, like mobile gaming, and I'm talking about splash art. And I'm using that as just an example. Like, if that was the route you wanted to go hypothetically, then you need to kind of write down the things that you need to get better at for that job. You know, Um, so I think it really depends on, what your goal is. So for me, I never want to work for a studio because I've worked very, very hard to be free and not have to answer to anybody, right? And like the last thing I want to do is work for a studio. So when it comes to choosing what to improve, I'm just going down a list of things that I personally want to get good at. But I know that a majority of my money comes from like anime conventions. So I did spend so like I'm good at drawing anime because I sell fan art at anime shows, and that's where my most of my paycheck comes from. So does that make sense? So because I knew that was going to make me money, I had to kind of redirect a lot of my focus. So for example, when I did the Digimon drawing with all the Digimon characters on it, it's like a 300-hour drawing. I spent 2 weeks studying the art of the Digimon guy, Hosada, right? So that's just a small example of like having direction of where I want to practice. So for you, it's kind of like, what exactly do you want to do with your art, whether that's professionally or just on your own. You know, like for example, there's zero reason for me to learn how to oil paint. Absolutely zero reason, because I'm never gonna make money as an oil painter, but I enjoy it because it's fun. Is this Kerrigan from StarCraft One? No, you know, not to change topics, but that's funny you brought that up. My wife has never played StarCraft, and she's a big Warcraft, old school Warcraft, not WoW. And I told her, just like, you need to play StarCraft, and I'm about to buy her the StarCraft One remaster. I don't know if the remaster comes with Brood War or not. Anyway, I just this is random that you would bring up StarCraft, but you've been less harsh on yourself as an artist. I'm not going. I've been. Alice says, I've been less harsh on myself as an artist, but I'm not so much sure how to start to get yourself back to improving. Yeah, that's true too. The goal could change. So we actually talked about this earlier in the stream, how we were just saying like, um, it. I find that artists who lack direction with their studies are the ones who struggle the most to improve. So I always use this as an example. If like some fat person is just like, all right, I want to go to the gym and get fit. That's a very vague thing. Like there's no specifics to it. How are you gonna, it's hard if you don't have like a specific goal. Now, if you were just like, all right, so first I need to lose 20 pounds because I'm gonna have a heart attack, and then maybe I'll go and lift some weights to build some muscle. See how much more structured that is? So if somebody comes up and they're like, hey, I need to improve my anatomy, that's so vague, right? Versus just saying, all right, I really suck at hands. I need to spend the next like 3 weeks drawing hands, right? So I think to prevent stagnation, you really just kind of need to uh, be more intentional with what you're studying. Um, and a good way to be intentional, like, is to know what you want to do with your art, like we talked about before. So you just need to ask yourself, well, what is it that you want to do with your craft? And then based on that, you could, as the kids call it, reverse engineer it. So you know what I mean? Yeah, literally write down a list of stuff that you're not good at. I do that all the time. I'll get all frustrated myself. All right, you suck at this, you suck at this. And then I'll sit and I'll go through all my books and I'll take notes and be like, oh, I guess I don't really suck at that. I don't really suck at that much, kind of. And then eventually you'll be over it. You'll yeah. Now, if it's not a literal um, stagnation in your skill and more of just like a mental thing where you're not feeling good about your art, there's nothing that I can say or anybody can say that's gonna help you with that. That's just real talk. Like I find for me, well, I don't really have that issue anymore, but back in the day when I used to, lack confidence in my work or be like iffy, um, you can't really control how you feel about your work. Like if you're insecure about your artwork, it's just how it's going to be. You can control like how you behave. So if you start feeling that way, you just got to keep drawing. You just got to condition yourself. So it's like oh, like let's say when you get mad, you start fucking punching walls. What are you going to do every time you get mad? You start punching walls. So one thing that I like to do is, and again we talked about this earlier on stream, we always carry a sketchbook. So like if I was feeling frustrated about my work, I trained myself to do basic studies. I'd be like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do, I suck. Then I'll just sit there and like rotate objects in space, and sketch things in different perspectives. You know. Yeah, if you want to, yeah, if you're comfortable with that, and you don't have to drop a link here. You can just send me a link on Discord, and I could just, so you don't have to, if you don't feel like showing it off to the classroom right now. Yeah, it's because art is such like a personal thing, right? I mean, it can be such a personal thing. See, I've learned to disconnect myself from a lot of my work. Like the work I do for conventions, I'm so disconnected from it. I'm just like, bleh, bleh, you know. um, but it's not like a lot of other fields, um, where you're just like hiring somebody to design something, then you go to Alibaba and then you go to China and mass manufacture. It's not like that for us. For a lot of artists, we're start to finish, and the finished product in the artwork, you take it very personally because you're like, oh, this is me. This is my. I mean, if you could not feel like that, that'll help you. So we're gonna go with straight white highlights here. A lot of people say don't do that. I like how it looks. I like pure white highlights. You know what else? And I'll when I finish doing the highlights on the face, or excuse me, when I finish the highlights on the skin, I'll go check out that drawing that you posted. Um, Here's another thing to consider that gets me through a lot of, or had got me through a lot of those old times when I used to have a lot of problems dealing, is if you have the opportunity to be an artist professionally, as in you get to draw or paint and that's how you make your money. That's pretty fucking sweet. Like that is a you know that's like no, I was working manual labor from like 15 to like 25, right? And just the idea of like, oh no, now I have to sit in this office and fucking render out this skin tone. You know what I mean? It's just like, what is this? Uh, I think I think a lot of artists don't really put that in perspective. It's just like if you have the opportunity, if like if you are a professional, you're making a living off of your artwork, or you're just on the cusp of it. You're just like, oh, I finished my school, my training. I just need to get the job and then get the credentials and stuff. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good spot to be in. All right, Vashi. Yeah, there's no amount of hours or artwork or studying that's ever going to be worse than turning wrenches. Never. All right, let me get that. Oh, not the drum. Okay. So Alice just dropped something in the chat, so I opened it. I'm reading it right now. So give me a second. See, that's good. That's good. Um, we'll lay down. We'll lay down. Okay, that's a good timeline you have. So what is it? Um, can you like rephrase? You said something earlier. In like that first message you sent in that paragraph where you said you finished your schooling, and then something about the people around you, and then like can I'm still kind of unclear what it is that's troubling you, young one. Are you just feeling a little overwhelmed with what is to come? Uh, Overlord, what? What's going on? How have you been? Shit. Yeah, we're just chilling. Like I finished all my commissions, so we're just sketching and goofing off, just kind of chilling today, taking it easy. If I never hold another Copic marker after all those commissions, if I never hold another Copic marker, I'll be fucking happy. What's good, man? You said you're traveling to all the cons? The goal is to illustrate how that what's going on in your head looks like what meant. Okay, Alice, I think like I'll say I'm a pretty good technical artist. I think being able to have artwork evoke like have somebody look at a piece of art and it evoke an emotion, I think is like the hardest thing. I could draw anything. Like I need like an hour to sit down and study an object, and then I have it loaded in my visual library and I could rotate it in free space. Like I'm good as technical. I think getting like an emotion across in a drawing or a painting is like fucking hard. And I'm not a fan of throwing like a blob on uh a piece and being like, it's what you make of it. Like bullshit. Come on. Come on. there's there's like a way to do it. You know what I mean? There's a way to do it where you don't leave it open for interpretation. You can make a piece have a specific message or feeling, and if you can get, you know what I mean, and you get the viewer to feel what you want, that's that's hard. Oh man, you want to be as good at art like you imagine when you were younger. You see a lot of artists who are able to do so much with their work. You find myself very limited. It's not just practice, but understand the work. Um, I mean, like, that's hard because like everybody moves at their own pace, and everybody has different life schedules. You know, like I have friends who have kids, and they're never. I mean, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but they're never gonna catch up to me just because they literally don't have the time to put in. You know what I mean? Um, so it's just one of those things where it's like, look, man, this is your life. You know what I mean? If you're putting in an honest day's work, I mean, that's all any of us can do, right? But like I said, if you can be more intentional with your studies, maybe pick a few areas and excel at those areas, you know, rather than trying to be like good at everything. Maybe you could start off by picking one or two things that you know you're already good at and that you enjoy and that might be useful to getting you a job later, and just get really fucking good at those two things. Oh no, I'm not talking about you with the blob art. I'm talking about in general. Overlord, what have you been working on? I haven't been watching Twitch. I haven't. The only thing I do on social media now is look at boxing stuff. Speaking of which, Gervonta Davis, I think, is going to lose today, but we'll see. Another thing that I always tell people is to don't is to get off of social media. Again, I'm sure this applies to everybody at some point, but like unless you're making money off of social media as an artist, like let's say you have hella followers or you have hella reach, and when you post something, it makes sales, or you post something, it gets you a commission. You know what I'm talking about? I don't really see the point. You know, like I have zero reach on any of my socials except for like for some reason we're streaming. We have hella people. Hello TikTok, appreciate you guys. We have some real talk, artist talk going on here. I have like no reach, and I make a fine living as an artist. Nobody knows who the fuck I am. Like, it's this lie that's been sold, where it's just like, how many times have you seen videos where people are just like, you can't just be an artist, you need to be an artist, a content creator, a this and a that, and like, actually, nah, you can just draw. You live in Canada now. How you liking that? Because the wifey and I are getting out of California, and we have considered Canada. But right now we have another state that we're like 99% gonna go to. But it depends on if this fucking housing thing goes through. Nice and comfy. But the thing is, majority of my income comes from conventions, and I know Canada's borders are strict about bringing in like you can't. Yo, thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. Like I can't just like if you live in Canada. For those who don't know, if you live in Canada or you live in the U.S., you cannot cross that border with like $10,000 in cash. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna let you. Like it's just how that's how it is. Because they're going. I don't know the exact reason why, but I have friends who do conventions. They live in Canada and they do conventions in the U.S. And I've had to, well, not me. I have heard stories about having to deposit some money, PayPal some stuff, and you have to kind of, you know, I guess I could have my family help me with that. That's gonna be the slippery slope thing because I'm gonna go from that, and then it's gonna be money laundering, and then it's just gonna. Well, look, we got away with this. Imagine what else we can get away with. Like how it's still California sucks. Hell yeah, it sucks. Welcome Raiders, welcome, welcome. We're just having some real art talk. So to me, it just kind of sounds like maybe you feel a little misunderstood with the artwork that you're making, and it's frustrating because the things that you want to say with your work, you're either having trouble getting it onto the page or having trouble getting eyeballs to it. That's what that sounds like to me. And I'm not projecting, but it's just what it sounds like to me. And the only thing you could do is just keep trying to make stuff because when you're trying to make very personal speaking art, it kind of sucks because you're the only one. You know what I mean? You're the when it comes to artwork like that, you're the only one who's going to be able to get it the way you want. Like if I need to know how to draw like a BMW, I can just go get references. When you're trying to do something personal, and you're trying to convey something, that's all you. So you're trying to get into some conventions. I know Canada has some good conventions. Was it Anime North? I've wanted to do Anime North for years. I've been wanting to do Anime North. Hold on, my puppy is whining. Give me a second. I'll get oil on the headphones. Can you hear me? Oh, jeez. For some reason, my audio like blacked out right there. All right. Um, thank you for all the views across all the platforms. But yeah, but Overlord, I am not joking when I'm saying I am open to the idea of moving to Canada. So Vancouver's pretty lit. Okay, so Alice says, you're bad at getting to the point and bad at being clear and direct. So often your thoughts and actions are muddy. Your envy of who can make clear, decisive. They can get it without losing sight of it. Try to find ways to explore your ADHD so it not hinders. Ah, okay. There's a few layers there. Um, it first off, the obvious thing is if looking at other people's artwork is negatively affecting you, then you need to just kind of stop doing that. No, I X the social media for a little bit, and I know that's such an old person thing to say, but I mean, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. Um, in regards to your ADHD, yeah, um, I used to not, I used to have no like sympathy or understanding, rather, of people with like conditions, until someone in my life, uh, had like horrible anxiety, and I always just brush it off. I'm like, just stop being a bitch, really not cool, for me to say stuff like that. Then they got on some meds, and like the next, like immediately, they were just like a different. It was like all the bad stuff was just gone, and they described it as just like the voice was gone. Um, so there's a good chance that that is kind of hindering you. So if there's something you could do with that, whether it's medicated or like an at home kind of thing, that's definitely something to explore. And don't ever let anyone tell you that's not. Because as somebody who I used to be such an asshole, like you need to just go to the gym and get your shit right, like yeah, that thing I said about getting off of social. So for the hair, this is actually my original character. Uh, she has white hair. I know, so original. Uh, but I did I designed her back in like 2013. Okay, and whatever, it's too late now. So what I'm doing is I'm going in with kind of the middle value for the hair. So I'm actually going to block out the entire head of hair in a single shape using like this middle tone, right? And then I will go in with the darker, to kind of show that the hair is layered. And then we'll go in with pure white to catch the highlights. That's just the easiest way to do it. People painting individual strands. I'm just like, have fun with that. So glob. That's what I do. Again, if I was getting paid, that'd be different. But we're just hanging out and goofing off today. just enjoying ourselves. I ain't trying to overwork myself today. Overlord, how long you been out there? Okay, here's a big deciding factor. How much green is out there? Like trees. Because I want fucking trees. I am a small city kind of boy, right? But I lived in Santa Cruz in California for a little bit. And I have just never like I've lived in Chicago, I've lived in Santa Cruz and Great Lake, like I like being outside with bugs and shit. Who would have ever thought? Oh, I love breakcore music. Explain to me in what way does that again? Because like I don't think I have ADHD. Funny story though. I so my first time trying Adderall was uh it was recreationally because we were at like this gross dank ass rave, right? And my buddy was just like, "Hey, you want a natty?" And I was just like, "Yeah, let's go." I took it, and then like 2 hours later, he's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I don't feel shit." He's like, "Oh, that means you have ADD." I was just like, "What?" Anyway, I don't know if that's important to anything, but no, I love breakcore. By the way, thank you for all the viewers. I wish I had something to plug you guys, and I wish that I noticed how dark this camera was the past 2.5 hours. Ah, hey. uh, I wish I had something to plug y'all, but if you like traditional art, which I feel like we're lacking, uh, online, feel free to give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. Links to my Instagram and I forgot what else should be in the description. I think I don't even double check the streams anymore. I'm just like, all right, what's the title? Sketch. Let's go. So we blocked out the overall shape for the hair. We're gonna actually let this dry, and then I'll go in with one darker color, and then for the shadows for the hair, and then we will go in with pure white to catch the highlights because she has white hair. We'll actually have to let that dry first. It's fine because we got other stuff to Alice says, breakcore to you sounds like your thoughts where they run together. It's not clear. Yeah, there's a lot of layers in that music. Do you, anecdotal, um, do you use a planner, a daily planner? I have a physical daily planner, and if I don't use that thing, I want to kill myself. Like I straight up cannot function without it. My daily planner. I have learned, like over the years, I've learned that it works for me, and I have completely embraced it, and I have allowed myself to be completely dependent on it, which is fine because I use it. You know, so it helps me organize, not just organize my thoughts. It takes the responsibility out of my hands, where I'm just like, so I'll fill it at the end of every day. I'll fill out what I need to do the next day in my daily planner. You write it down, not type it on your phone. Not none of that. It's like, just write it, and then it's so satisfying to like cross something off, right? But I will write down all the things that I need to do the next day, or the projects that I'm going to be working on, and then I'll put a number next to them. Be like, all right, this I gotta go check the mail. That's gonna be the first thing. I gotta do this, gotta do that. I'll list down like everything. I cut my nails, like every little thing I'm gonna do that day. I'll put it in there, and I'll put a number next to it in the order that I have to do it in. And then maybe I do have ADD, and it's nice because it takes the responsibility of having to plan the day out of my hand. I'm just like, all right, well, that's what's next. That's what's next. That's what's next. And then when you start crossing stuff off the list, you feel really good, feel really productive. And then if it says, all right, I guess I just got to do a stream, I don't fucking feel like streaming, whatever. Now I'm here. That's what, that's pride. Prescriptions. I have learned so much about medicine during the past like year and a half. Like, like I'd hang out in the oncologist's little lounge, right? And I'll just be researching all these different medications. I've like learned so much. So I'm just like, I've always been a man of science, but I'm just like, look, get a prescription for something. It's just what it is, like actually we could probably just use the same green for the hair that we were doing for the body. Who cares? Let me finish this section of the hair and then I'll get back to the chat. How's the um how's the immigration process? See, now that I'm interested and I got you here, I was going to ask you questions. That is the whole immigration thing is one of the because I didn't know anything about it, and I just like you know how it is. Just like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with it." Congrats on getting married. Dual citizenship. Yeah, that's all that. That's the kind of shit that I need to research. I don't know. I don't know. What's everyone got going on today on this Saturday, which I thought I know that when I'm done with the stream here, I have to go to the gym. I cannot wait to have my own gym in my garage. Get this Why is it of all the machines, it's the assisted pull-up machine that is always being used and never the right way? Like of all the machines being used, like some people you see them use like the hip adductor machine. Like they'll do some wacky shit on it, but I guess you're technically still using your legs, right? Something about the assisted pull-up machine. I would just love to get on that thing and do some weird shit. Saw some guy using it for like tricep push downs. I'm just like, dude, there's like 6 cables open over there. Like, wonder headed off. Yo, see ya. Well, here you could think of it this way as well. And again, this is not me projecting in any way, but you could think of it this way. Um, making any kind of artwork is hard, right? Or it takes some level of like you gotta know what you're doing. Like when I do like fan art, I know what I'm doing, but it still takes a lot of time and effort. But ultimately, I mean, it's just fun, but it's kind of empty. You're trying to do something that's very, very like effective, and it is very personal to you. You do kind of have to earn that. Does that make sense? Like, if it was that easy to create artwork that conveyed those kinds of things, then everyone would be doing it. And this struggle that you're having, getting it to come out, could ultimately be the thing that drives like when you do get it eventually. All this struggling and like borderline suffering probably ultimately just gonna help the message, like help like convey. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be able to convey that versus like if everything came easy. Um, what could you really put into artwork if everything came easy? So it sucks, but you'll get it eventually. You don't know when, but because you want to do something special, you kind of have to earn it. We literally just talked about it earlier, where I was just like making artwork that can make people feel a certain way or do something. In my opinion, is the hardest subject matter. Anybody could sit down and spend 1,000 hours and draw every Dragon Ball character, but I cannot sit and make something that make people like think and feel. You know what I mean? So if you want to frame it in that way, where you're just like, all right, what I'm doing is just so grand, it's gonna take a while, and I have to earn it. Lag. I just dropped some fucking jewels. You lag on me. This is why I don't stream for you motherfuckers anymore. Just used all the light. Actually, I think I was going to give it to my younger self. Oh shoot! I mean, I did that on purpose. Ooh, yeah. My favorite piece of advice that I've heard say is to just try to make your own next favorite thing. All right. Well, as much as I want to finish this, we hit 3 hours on the stream. Hope everybody had a good time. Um, I will hang out for like another 5 minutes so we can kind of chat while I clean up. So if you have any questions, throw them my way as I clean up. I know it's hard to see. So let me see if I could lift this. Tilt it so you can, because like it looks very washed out because of the way that the lighting is. You can't see all the textures. That sucks. We'll let this guy dry though. The reason we're lacking textures, like I have a lot of good textures, a lot of fun textures in this one right here, but I'm lacking textures here because all of my brushes are dirty and all my big brushes are dirty. So so I had to use small ones so it doesn't have like the stroke textures that I have in like this one right here. No, this is oil paint. So if you're in TikTok, welcome. Thank you for watching. Follow. Uh if you want to see a higher quality version than what you're seeing on TikTok, my Twitch and YouTube links are in my profile. Otherwise, everyone who's hung out with me this whole time, I appreciate it. A lot of viewers. I have not used acrylics in like 6 years, and I don't fucking remember. Yeah, Overlord. Yeah, this is fun. I like if I have free time, like when I catch up with my work, we're always just gonna come on here and just kind of goof off, right? Like this, we're just having some fun today. Nice and relaxing stream. So we'll probably finish this on stream tomorrow because I don't have any work lined up for like a fucking till July. So yeah, hope everyone has a good day. Y'all take care of yourself, right? Yeah, Alice, if you could always hit me up on Discord if you need anything. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, everybody.